Konnichiwa! My name is Katie from PinayNomad.com. Today, I want to talk about 7 ways to visit Japan on the cheap. If you're all about budget travel like me, I have great news for you. You don't have to break the bank on your next trip adventure to Japan. I'm going to share 7 budget tips so you'll be ready to take a new adventure without incurring crazy expenses. This essential guide includes everything from accommodations and transportation to food and attractions. Let's get to it. People on Reddit would ask, how much money should you bring with you when you travel to Japan? Well, the answer is you can easily spend over $200 per day. However, I don't think a trip to Japan needs to be that expensive. Here's how. Number 1. Book your plane tickets at least 3 months in advance. Finding cheap airfare to Japan can seem a little intimidating, but the key is to buy your plane tickets at least 60 to 90 days before you plan to leave. My friend Harvin, who lives in Japan, told me that ticket prices can go up to $500 or more when you travel during major holidays like Memorial Day, Bon Festival, Christmas, and New Year's Day. If you don't mind 1 or 2 stop flights, budget airlines like Asiana and Cathay Pacific Airlines usually offer flights to Japan that are several $100s cheaper than those of major airlines. Number 2. Travel during Japan's off-peak season. According to our Airbnb hosts, if you want to get a cheap rate for accommodation, then you should book from October through March, except of course for Christmas and the New Year's holiday season. During the winter season, hotel rates are way cheaper compared to summer season. Winter in Tokyo is mild to chilly. I would personally prefer to stay there when it's not hot and humid because I already experienced Tokyo's hot summer weather. And trust me, you don't want to be all sweaty while sightseeing. If you travel to Japan during off-peak season, you can save hundreds of dollars on airfare and accommodation. With fewer tourists, vacationing, and sightseeing, you'll encounter much shorter lines and drastically lower prices. My advice? Plan your trip to Japan with someone who actually lives in Japan. I emailed our Airbnb host and he's helpful enough to plan our Tokyo itinerary. Consulting with locals can help you find the best budget-friendly deals, especially during Japan's major events like Golden Week, Ubon, and the upcoming Tokyo Olympics. Number 3. Dine at Japanese fast food chains. Japan is known for its best food in the world, but did you know that you can also buy appetizing sushi for an affordable price? Japanese people are very professional, and they take so much pride in culinary service. For as low as 500 yen or $4.74, you can eat like a local and find delicious meals at fast food outlets. Fast food in Japan has great quality, unlike in other countries where they serve deep-fried, processed, and unhealthy food. In Japan, fast food means steaming bowls of rice, miso soup, crispy gyoza with a side of green tea. Basic meals such as rice bowl with green tea can be purchased for as little as $2. If you're in Tokyo, look for local ramen shops, izakaya, or bakeries. They all serve great quality food without emptying your wallet. There's an array of cheap foods options in the country, and you don't really need to spend much money on food. You can save money on food in Japan by doing the following. Eat at 100 yen shops. So many 100 yen shops in Japan where you can buy set meals, groceries, water, toiletries, household items, and more. My next suggestion is eat at 7-Eleven. They have Family Mart and other corner stores that serve pre-set meals for $1 to $3 that make for cheap lunches. Additionally, supermarkets have set meals at similar prices. I noticed this was a popular option for many Japanese people. Next is cook your own food. Airbnbs or hostels have kitchens where you can cook and cut your food expenses to less than $10 per day. And also, I would suggest for you to avoid fresh fruits because there's a rumor about Japan that turned out to be true was that fresh fruit and vegetables were expensive. I remember when I was there, I was craving for strawberries, so we went to a nearby grocery store and I was shocked. Really. Like one small container of berries costs 3 times the price in the US. That's crazy, right? I'm like, why is it so expensive? So, my advice, try to avoid this. Try to avoid fruits that aren't in season. Just buy an apple or banana because they're pretty good enough. Use sushi trains. Sushi in Japan is delicious at all levels. While we had a few fancy sit-down meals, you can't beat the sushi trains for value. At $1 to $2 per plate, you can stuff your face for less than $15. And trust me, sushi trains are good. Number 4. Take the subway and trains. If you're used to taking Uber or taxi back home, get out of your comfort zone and try Tokyo's public transportation. Tokyo trains are fast, inexpensive, clean, and very easy to navigate. Just purchase a Suica or Pasmo transport card at the train station so it's easier to get around and see all of the city's major areas and attractions. You can buy Suica transport card for a deposit of $5, then you'll get a refund once you return the card. It's very convenient in my opinion because you don't have to bring change. And even if you're only staying in Japan for a short time, like me, I stayed there for like 7 days, getting a JR Pass is one of the wisest budget moves you can make. The JR Pass is essentially a discount train pass for tourists in Japan, covering train lines in 6 different regions. JR passes must be purchased online prior to arriving in Japan. It can be confusing, I know, but once you figure it out, the result is rewarding and it's also budget friendly. Since Japan is very safe, public buses are also great ways to visit cities like Kyoto or Tokyo without spending $100 on a taxi or Uber in Japan. Number 5. Search for affordable accommodation. In my experience, Airbnb and hostels have the cheapest accommodation options in Japan. On our last visit, Airbnb provided a more local experience because we got to mingle with our host. He and his wife even cooked dinner for us when we arrived from Narita Airport. I never experienced that kind of treatment before in my other Airbnb stays abroad, and they were very hospitable. They even gave us some sake, and in return we bought another bottle for them because the guy likes to drink. If your destination is Tokyo, I recommend staying in Shibuya or Shinjuku area. Both neighborhoods are right in the center of shopping, and also you can easily find restaurants there. They have nightlife, and it's a short train ride from all major attractions. If you're in less traveled areas, check out Lonely Planet Japan Guide because they have everything, like their best resource for hostels, hotels, and ryokan. Ryokan is a Japanese style guest house, just like the one we stayed at. Also, you can check out the tourist information centers because they are a reliable source of English speaking assistance if you're in less touristy areas. And also, I want to share some ways for you to save on accommodation. One is workaway. I've done this before when I was in Bali. It's basically working for a few hours in exchange of accommodation. I will link my blog post in the description box down below. Next is use your credit card points. If you're like me, who uses credit cards just to get travel points, if you know what I mean. It's like very convenient, it's times like this that those credit card points come in handy. You can use your frequent flyer miles and regular hotel points can be redeemed for lots of free nights. You can use your free accumulated nights from hotels.com, and you can get 2 free nights in Tokyo. Or if you're lucky, you can get up to 1 week free accommodation. Last but not the least is capsule hotels. My friend Marge, she has been to the Japan like 5 to 6 times. She told me about these capsule hotels. It's basically a step up from hostels and a step down from hotels. Capsule hotels are very tiny. I mean, not really tiny, but not enough room. But you can sleep in it. You're gonna share bathrooms and common areas with other guests. It's not for people who's afraid of small spaces. Some capsule hotels, they actually have light and sometimes a small TV. These are commonly used by businessmen who work late at night, and it's very cheap. It's only $27 to $39 per night. Number 6, attractions. Some people say that the best things in life are free. That is true. In Tokyo, most of the tourist attractions in the city are either free of charge or with a minimal fee of $10. If you're into scenic views, I suggest you go to Ueno and Asakusa area because you can see the zoo, Japanese garden, Sensoji Temple, and of course the famous Meiji Shrine. You can spend one whole day taking the city tour, but if you're like me, who likes to chill and take my time, maybe 3 to 4 days would be enough to explore the whole Tokyo area. You can also take advantage of free activity passes in Japan because most of it are all inclusive. They sell it for like $50, but it covers a range of attractions in Japan, like the coolest places to go. For example, the Tokyo Metropolitan Building, they offer a 360 bird's eye views of Tokyo and Mount Fuji on a sunny day. TripAdvisor also recommends major landmarks like Hiroshima Peace Park and Kyoto's Imperial Palace, which are free to enter and have inexpensive tours. If you're into DIY like me, I suggest you design your own self-led tours. Since tours of Japan's cities and landmarks average $80 per person, your travel bill will add up pretty quickly with more tours you take. So in this case, the best solution is to create your own DIY tour. You can just, Google. Not only you will end up saving $100, but you'll get to visit off the beaten path destinations in Japan with few tourists ever see. Number 7, tax-free shopping. Yes, I have to include this because it's my favorite activity. Most girls like shopping, like who doesn't, right? Most major shops they offer tax-free shopping for international tourists. So as a rule, I recommend that you bring your passport with you when you go shopping because you can get a discount for as much as like 20%, something like that. So the top 3 things that most people buy when they go to Tokyo are electronics, cosmetics, and geeky toys. Akihabara is known for, world leading electric town and home to otaku culture. It's also the best place to witness the underground culture of Japan and shop high-tech gadgets. You can see gamers, techie people, coffee lovers, and even cosplayers. They often hang out in that area. And also, if you're in Akihabara, check out maid cafes. It's where maids serve guests in cute, frilly costumes and they call you master or Goshushin-sama. You'll see a number of maid cafes in that area, and it's been one of the top attractions in Tokyo for the past few years. Okay, so there you have it, guys. I hope I was able to help my fellow Wanderlusters out there. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, leave a comment just to say hi or hola. I respond to all comments except for emoji only comments. Thank you so much for watching and see you in my next video. Sayonara!